Just
Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday. And you know what my bestie said that she called it what'd she say? Worthy. And I was saying it's a wonderful winning Wednesday. And she goes, it's worthy Wednesday. And I was like, I love that because not only are we winning, but we are worthy. We are freaking
whoop,
worthy
whoop.
to have this winning Wednesday. So, Trá Urban here, everyone. And it is my very great honor to have you guys here hanging out with me. And this is my very special guest. And when I heard her speak, you guys, I heard her on Clubhouse and that was it. I was done. I was sold. I'm like, you are speaking my language. You are talking to who? To me. And that's how you guys see the topic right here, right? ADHD entrepreneurs. Like, I'm one of them. So I need you. I need you. You guys, I'm going to let Val introduce herself because she is an amazing queen. And while she does that, I'm going to post her amazing link because you're going to want to know how to reach her. Okay, go ahead, queen.
Thank you, Trey. Hello, everyone. So excited to be here. And yes, ADHD is my wonderful superpower. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 11 years old, believe it or not. And since then I have 6 companies and I work as a consultant for several different nationwide brands. Most recently was Google. I did their holiday campaigns here in Oregon. And right now I'm working with an amazing company. I wish I had their can here with me. It's called Your Bay. So we rocked it so much in the Oregon market that they're now sending me up to Seattle to train their staff up there as well and to rock out that market. So I love what I do. Every day is a new day. And then I get to work with entrepreneurs and small business owners as well. And I teach them how to build out their beautiful heart-centered business so they can turn their passion into wild profits.
You guys. And you want to do this. People don't understand that whatever it is that you really, really love, that there's a way to monetize on it. There's a way for you to get into your passion and purpose. And let me tell you, this woman, she is a multi 6-figure business strategist, you guys. Multi, like a bunch of them over and over and over. So if she has helped multiple people, guess what? She can help you. And this is what I know. Okay, so this is so funny. You mentioned that you've been an entrepreneur since you were 11 because I think those of us who have been doing the thing, we've always done the thing. So I grew up and I had 3 siblings, but we lived with 4 of our cousins because my auntie lived with us after she got divorced and she had 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy just like us and similar ages. And we always would make like puppet shows and we would make haunted houses or just crazy stuff and we would charge the neighborhood kids for them. And of course, we always had the lemonade stands. And so most of us all have the same childhood, right?
So true. It's funny because I was talking about this earlier with a client and I'm like, some of us just have that thing, that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive where no matter what it is, we're thinking, ooh, opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. And it's like that switch just doesn't turn off. And it's like we have a million ideas, right? And it's like really the work to do is focusing on like, what do I actually focus on to move the needle forward? Or, on the other hand, I do work with a lot of ADHD entrepreneurs and it's like, I've started a million things and I don't get into that completion energy and actually complete what I start, right? So that can
Yes.
also be, especially when we are multi-passionate. And I don't think that anybody should ever be put into a box.
Yes.
And no matter what it is that you love and you want to do, then you can make money doing it. Absolutely 100%. Because if you think about it, some of the biggest names in our industries now, like out there in the world, eBay, they started out as because the guy's girlfriend liked to collect Pez collection,
No way,
Pez, those
really?
little Pez machines.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love.
and she wanted to trade online with other people. Or Amazon started out as a competitor to bookstores. And now look at it. Our lives depend on Amazon, right? And
I
so
love
it's like,
Amazon.
no matter what you want to do, Oprah, she gets paid to talk to people. Like you
Yeah.
can make money doing what you love.
This is amazing. And I love what you were saying. So, of course, you're talking about all of these things. And it's so funny because me and my business bestie, we're doing a live And then she just does like what we do. And you like, I call it squirrel, and then we're like, what? And we're like, huh? And so in the live, something distracted her. And then you could see her all, oh yeah, and completely detached and come over here. And this is what we do all the time. And this is what I love about this conversation and why I wanted to have it, because I have that exact thing. I don't want to call it an issue, but I'm just saying. So friends, and that I am in the rooms with the forward thinkers, with the people who are always saying the newest, latest, greatest stuff. And then my little squirrel mind is always going, oh, I want to learn that. Oh, what? Oh, what? And then I want to do that. And then, so even it's so funny. So you heard about the Diggably, right? That Jay Nolan's doing. And so again, here I go. I get completely out of who I am and what I really should be doing. And I'm like, oh, I'm the how-to Diggably girl. And my business bestie's like, okay, she lets me, have my emotional outburst and moment and be excited. And then she'll be like, okay, hen, I love that you love Diggably, and I know you're excited about it, but she helps me rein it back in to get back on track to my courses, right? And my stuff. So okay, do you have insight to what causes that? And then, how more tools, because most people, and up until last year, I didn't have a business bestie. So for 50 some years, I had just been reining my own self in, which didn't work very well. And it took so much longer. And then by the time I reined myself in, I was sad and hopeless and discouraged, and I just quit.
Yes, that is such a common thing. It's interesting because it's like our thinking that got me here, our thinking that gets us here won't get us there. Right. And so there's always this growth edge for us, right? There's always a growth edge. I don't care if you're just starting your business, if you've been in it, or if you're scaling and growing, there's a growth edge. And that's absolutely 100%. I found for myself and almost every single one of my clients too, it's like when things get hard, when you start to get that pressure, and I'm not talking about the type of pressure that like we as entrepreneurs put on ourselves. I'm talking the pressure. Like it's getting hard. I'm doing this launch. People aren't buying. I'm in a lull. So we feel that pressure. And then it gets so much easier to go jump and get distracted and jump to a new thing because that's exciting. We get that dopamine hit, right? We get that feeling of excitement where it's almost like we're drunk off this new idea, and then that's all we can see. And it's so much easier to go jump into that new thing and be like, that's it. I'm the Gigably girl. Like I want to do reels. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be a reels coach. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be a YouTube shorts coach, because it's easier to now jump into something new. But the truth of the matter is, through my own experience, because girl, I have been so guilty of this. When I was in the corporate world, I would be about a year and a half when I was already like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? And I would jump, I would move, and so knowing that you can press into your creativity and design your business around, I absolutely know I have to have new exciting things happening. That's why, I love doing consulting with big companies and entrepreneurs, because there's constantly something evolving and growing. And I get to stand shoulder to shoulder with these companies and build out their products, build out their product suite, build out their messaging, their brand. And that's exciting for me. So it's like, when we get that temptation to jump, what I always say, it's interesting because I've trained my staff to do this with me, because I'll come to them with this idea like, oh my gosh, we're going to do this new thing and we're going to do this. And they sit down and they listen to me and they go, okay, Val, well, we have this whole plan on the whiteboard. Q2 is done. Q3 is done. So do you want us to scrap everything, all the content, the plan that we've come up with? Or do you want us to do this new thing, or do you want us to stick with the plan? And ultimately I'm able to say, you know what? No, let's just stick with the plan. Let's push this off to when I can get more information. It'll feel better for me. And so for me, it's always that like checking in with yourself. Right. And I have to ask myself, and I encourage my clients or anyone out there that's feeling this, like check in with yourself and go, okay, what am I really, is there something I'm avoiding in this? Like, yes, this seems like a new idea, but am I avoiding that right now in the middle of this launch, it feels uncomfortable? And I feel like if I'm giving it my all and I fail, then I'll be disappointed. But if I give up right now, then it doesn't matter. No one will know. And I'll feel okay with it. Right. And so often when we really come down to it, in that vulnerability, it really is that right now it feels uncomfortable. So I feel like the shiny temptation is great. But if I really look at the long term of that, for me, myself, and for a lot of my clients, it's like that start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start,
Mhm.
stop. And then we get frustrated and we get nothing done. And, the honest truth is that a lot of people don't give their dreams and their businesses and whatever it is they're working on enough time to actually come into fruition. They'll get on a Facebook Live 2 days a week for 2 weeks and go, okay, I'm not making a million. I give up.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
Clubhouse. We're both big on Clubhouse. Like, consistency on Clubhouse, it's huge. You've got to keep being
Huge.
shown. You got to keep showing up. You've got to be seen if you want to build a brand, brand, not just be another blank business coach, not just be another health coach, not just be another reels person. But if you want to build a brand where people are going, I need you, they call you
Mhm.
by name, then
Yes.
showing up and being consistent is the key. And sometimes it gets really uncomfortable and we want to jump and we want to do the next shiny thing. But really, if you keep integrity with yourself and your audience, that is going to be enough. I mean, that's going to speak way more volumes than any other strategy or mindset will ever do for you.
Because you build the know, like, and trust. And until people really know you, then they don't really like you. They don't know if they like you or not. They're like, I don't know. Right. And then they definitely can't trust you if they don't know you or like you. So I love that. Girl, I had three huge things. So when you were talking about right when it gets hard, then I like felt exposed. I felt like my
Mm,
chest opened. I'm like, see, that's me. It was so funny because one of the one of my clubhouse friends, she sent me this gif of the guy who's pummeling through the thing, and the walls like this thick, and all of the amazingness is right there, and then he quits, and she goes, don't be, this is you, you're right there, you're right there. And I have had people tell me that my whole life, and that's always right when I quit, and it was too late, because by they told me, I was already, nope, I'm done. I had already, and I feel things deeply, you guys. I'm an empath. So
mm,
I'd be like, no, I got, and I know I just have that energy. When I'm done with something, I know I'm just done with it. I won't want to go back. I won't want to. That's why I ride the how I could do it until I can't. And so that's why I got into IT, because I
mm,
was that person. I quit a job every like 12 to 18 months. If I really liked it, I might stick 18 months. But I would organize, get everything so smooth, and then I get bored and then I leave.
mhm,
And that's what I kept doing. I kept fixing it. And so I said, how can I not always have to keep starting over? So I got in with the state, because I go, then I could keep transferring. And but I was very strategic, because I said to myself, what will always be new? Because I knew that about myself. I knew I get bored with stuff so fast, and it's like you. That's why. But it's like two things. I think we're born to be these people who are excited about things and start things, but to gain the skill to persevere to the end is the part that I love. And what I heard you say is the same thing like I said with my business bestie. It's thanks to your crew, your
mm,
team. And I love that. That's why the Bible says, seek many advisors, wise
mhm,
advisors. And you guys, people, be discerning, people who are exempling what you want to see. Yo, to quit asking the freaking family members who don't even have what you want to achieve. Swear. And this woman, so this is what she did. And that's how I started too. And I started asking people, okay. And then they walk me off the ledge. And then they
mm,
remind me, oh, but then they also be like, I got you. We'll support you if this is really what you want. However, and then I just felt myself breathe when you said that.
mm,
When you're like, okay, and they're like, and I love that. And you could create that, you guys. You really can. Whether it's a team of people that this beautiful queen has grown into, or my business bestie or individual, but I promise when you're ready, when you're open, it's going to come. Girl, I feel so amazing. So do you have like a blueprint that you go off of? How do you, because girl, it has to be a challenge all on its own to deal with ADHD entrepreneurs, because then you're always walking what I know is you walk every single one of your clients off the edge all the time. Huh? Your job is to redirect.
Absolutely.
Huh?
It
How?
is. Yeah. I mean, it
I
is a lot
know.
of it is that support of like, I mean, I can't tell you what a gift it is when I'm driving down the road or I'm just in my day and I get a call from someone and they're like, I'm on the edge right now. I need to talk through it. And coaching is one of those things I do not take like my approach is very holistic. Like a lot of people have got with me and they're like, you are not like any business coach I've ever had before. And I'm like, that's because if I tell you strategy, 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 I can making the money, getting to that 6 figures, that's easy.
Yeah.
It's the stuff, it's here. It's you standing in your way that is causing the same cycle of things to come up for you. And it isn't until we're face to face with that. And I can say that now, having had been face down in my own tears in a lot of those situations where I've had to face myself and face the points where I would usually give up. And I used to be a competitive runner and I've not done that in a while, but I often compare it to that, right? Or right now I'm learning bachata. I'm in this like a troupe where we're going to be performing and I think about how, we have all these steps we have to do. Thank you. Yes, we have all these steps we have to do. And then there's like arm motions and then there's emotion in it and you got to do it with the timing and the beat. And so often in the middle of those steps, like we're just learning. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't have it perfect yet. You haven't had it figured out. And I'm looking around with these 12 other women that are learning with me. Right. And so I get to give myself that same grace in my business that, look, there's going to be days when I get in my head. When I'm in my head, I am doubting every single step I'm taking, right? Same as in running, same as in learning a new dance. Like I'm in my head and I'm just like, I'm doubting and I can feel it and I'm off. And, learning that like I can give myself grace, even if it's something I've done 1,000 times before. And if for some reason that day I'm not feeling it, I know how to get myself in state, or I know how to help my clients get powerfully through that, because we're all going to have doubts. I strongly stand up against this idea of like, I don't know if it's like toxic positivity or what it is, but that idea that like, it's fine. You just suit up and show up. You get in the state
Yeah.
and you're good. You show up and you fake it
Like
till you make
everything
it.
is
Like,
rainbows.
no,
No, it's
not
not.
always.
No.
Literally some days I'm on a stage with thousands of people feeling confident AF. And other days I'm curled up in the fetal positioning, wondering how I'm even going to get out of bed. Like that's just the
Mhm.
honest truth sometimes,
Yes.
especially with ADHD, or, our whole world has gone through collective trauma over the past couple of years. And that shows up in a lot of different ways. And so there will be days you're unmotivated. There will be days that you don't feel like showing up. There are days that honestly, like I've created this Val Nichols I am today through so much intentionality and training myself and creating good habits. But I found myself one day a couple months ago, I went through a divorce a year and a half ago, and that brought up every single, right, girl? Every single
Me
thing my
too.
inner critic has been telling me my whole life came to the surface again.
Hmm.
And it was hard for me to show up in my audience. I remember even saying out loud, like, today I just don't want to be Val Nichols today, because
I,
the expectation I put on myself to be Val Nichols.
hmm.
And I was like, I'm just tired of being Val Nichols. And I don't know how to show up in the heartbreak, in the things. But the beauty of that, when we're cracked open in those moments, because you will be,
Yep.
right? We're either all coming out of it, we're in it, or we're going to go in it,
Are you
right?
gonna? Yep.
So,
Because it's a circle. We're keeping get it as soon as you get out of one. Trust me, if you aren't already in a couple more, they're coming.
yeah. And so in those moments, we're cracked open, and the level of vulnerability and connection I've been able to create from that through walking through those hard things and realizing that, at my core belief, wherever that comes from, that could be a whole other topic for another day,
Yeah.
but that my core belief is that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and that if you find out who I really am, you're going to think
You're
I'm a
not
fraud.
one.
Like, it's like I'm waiting for the fraud police to show up on my door and be like, "Ha, got you. You can't really have this life." I mean, right now, like, I live in a resort. I drive a Lexus. Like, I have multiple businesses. Like, this is what I've always wanted, but I still feel like an imposter, right?
Yes.
And so
Mhm.
just know that, like, that's normal. It's
It
normal.
is.
Because
It
if you
is.
scratch the surface of anyone out there that's successful, I don't care if it's Brad Pitt, if it's, I mean, Twitch,
Grant
remember
Cardone,
Twitch?
all of them. Yeah. Oh, I'm so
All of
sad.
them. We all suffer
We
from
all,
that imposter syndrome. And you know what you brought up, Trey, is that fact that, like, don't quit before the miracle happens. So often, just like in a race, I remember being in marathons, and it, like, mile 8, my mind is telling me, just quit. Oh, you have to pee. Oh my goodness, nobody would even notice if you just ran off the track and went home.
yeah.
You can't do it. You can't keep the endurance. You can't do it. And every single time when I crossed that finish line, it's like I got to meet my ego one more time and say, you know what? Yes, I can.
Look at what we did. Yes.
Look what we did. And we can
Right
do it
now.
again.
Hmm. Trust. You guys, many of you know I was paralyzed. They told me I wouldn't walk again. And the fear of not knowing what I was going to have or what my life was going to be like pushed and drove me, talking about moments of crying and dying. And that's when I was like, well, you're just going to keep starting anyway. So just keep starting. And in that journey, I think that's what really taught me that it's okay if I feel defeated, and it's okay for me to not always feel like, oh, rainbows and sprinkles, and that I'm having a human experience, and that I can allow myself to process those emotions. And then after I'm done, it frees up, and then I'm ready to start again. And then I
Mm,
can actually find new ways to get excited about what I was accomplishing. Because what I realize is when I get to that place that you talk about where I'm done, I'm like, it's because I
mm,
I've lost the new words, the new ways, the new opportunities, the new things, and it's stagnated. Just like when we go to lose weight, right? We all have those plateaus. And so the plateau now, I invite myself to say, oh, it's just because it's time to learn something new that you need to integrate into here. Or now it's time to whatever, instead of like the me, because of course I still get triggered with all of those same thoughts. Like, oh yeah, nobody wants to listen to you. No, oh yeah, sure. You don't know. And even though I have all this proof and validation and all of the things, right? Yes. And now I feel that, and I immediately tell myself, what's the truth? The truth
mm,
is, girl, you're just gonna start again. You know you're gonna start it. Girl, you know you feel things deeply. Girl, you know you could just cry, go blow it off, go have a couple of drinks and dance until you can't dance no more. Whatever, right? And give yourself a freaking break so that you can allow the new ways or the new strategies or your
mm,
team to remind you we're this close. We're just, if we just wait 2 more weeks, guess what? We're at that pinnacle or whatever. And then,
mm,
okay, because it's all in what we tell ourselves and what we believe. And I know I used to think life was beating me up. I was like, nope.
mm,
I used to always say, God, why are you punishing me? Why are you punishing me? I thought everything was a punishment. I didn't realize it was a realignment. I didn't
mm,
realize it was like, girl, let me help you because you're not listening. You're not paying attention. You and your hard head. Let me move you over here. So I love this wisdom. I feel
mm.
like you have helped me really understand myself in a deep way, girl. I'm giving you such a
Oh,
big
I love you.
hug. This is why I love her, you guys. I felt her immediately, and I was like, yes, she's going to be the helper to so many of us, because we don't realize it's just all energy.
Yeah.
It's all energy.
It is. I love that. And I love that you brought up a scripture, and it is like, I truly believe. And one of the things I built my business on was that, keep the vision before you or the people will perish. And so having a vision, you talked about being told you'd never walk again. And it's like, we can be defined by that. I mean, I've been
Mhm. I could have just
so many
stopped.
things.
Yeah.
Right. So many things. Like I was an alcoholic with a cocaine addiction living in the back of my car at one point, wondering what the hell was wrong with me, thinking that God was just doing like it was not my fault and he was doing everything to me, right? Like I remember being so angry and mad at God when it's like, really, like
Trust.
I get to pick up my bed and walk, right? And so it is like no matter what. And I share that because, it's a lot of people can look at me today and go, oh, easy for you. But, no, I have those dark pieces of myself that I wanted to hide from you guys when I came into business and brought my companies to on social media. I wanted to hide the dark abuse in the past. I want to hide the mental illness in my family. I wanted to hide my drug addiction, my alcoholism, that I've been sober now for 12 years. So it's easy for me to talk from here. But, but then in the moments too, like going through divorce, I found myself I'm a hider, you guys. Like I am a hider. And that showed
Me
up
too. I have
big
great
time,
masks. I call it masks.
right? The mask started showing up
I have great
again. And
masks.
so, right. And feeling like, and I heard you say this, Trey, and I was, I'm imagining you're kind of the same person where it's like we're always the positive happy person that people come to for support, but it's like in that, where do we get our own support and allow ourselves, the work for me to do this last year and a half has been, how do I still show up powerfully but still maintain the space for me to do my own healing? Because
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, at the end of the day, I honestly thought it was selfish for me to have my own preferences and my own needs,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
I
why I
didn't
was married
really.
for too long.
Right.
Right.
And we're everything to everyone else, right? And
Yes.
that's why I think a lot of people like that make amazing, incredible entrepreneurs. And then our growth edge is for us to learn how to give ourselves the same support and the same love,
Mm-hmm.
which
And
is
and and
easier
you're
said than
the
done.
yes, and you're the example that okay, we are all having a human experience. It doesn't matter if you have money or don't have money. We are still experiencing heartache and hardship like divorce. And y'all, I had been married for 33 years and I knew it was done. I asked him to move
Mm,
out and he wouldn't move out. This was a few years after I was paralyzed. My job of 17 years had let me go. I have a lot of money, but it's tied up in equity, in
mm,
properties, and all of this stuff. So I made the choice for my own sanity. That's it. I went and I left and I lived in my car and I couch
mm,
surfed and I had friends. And that was more peaceful to me than staying in this amazing, huge home in this $1 million area that I bought with my credit because he didn't have any. I walked away from it all for my peace and for my sanity. And even though, so I'm telling you that we get through things, we find ways to get through. And I
mm,
know what it feels like to feel like you can't. There's been many times, I know many lifetimes, I chose to take the shortcut, I call it. But in
mm,
this lifetime, I'm like, I'm not starting over again. I don't want to start over again. I'm going to learn the lessons. And somebody told me that one of my shamanic teachers, my healers, they're like, your soul came here to learn something and it wanted to learn and it created this trajectory for you to excel and learn. So if you check out, you got to just start over again. And, and,
mm.
and usually there's more added to it because you keep taking the shortcut. And I was like, I don't want it to be harder. It's already too hard. Okay, I'm going to do it. Okay. and then I just
Right.
subscribed to, okay, then I'm just going to attract the people to get me through it. So you guys
Yes.
give yourself permission to say, I'm just grateful for whoever's giving me the next piece of knowledge, the next
Mm,
way for me to get out of the bad relationship. And then Val will show up, right?
mm-hmm,
And then amazing people will show up and they'll be like, and you know that they get you because I could tell you that you could feel. That's what I feel. People, I read their energy. I do all the things. I only align with the people who I know that are real people.
mm,
And that's why I aligned with her. And she knows because she really feels it. And you felt it. She knows what it feels like when her clients call and they're like, okay. And then that instant, guess what? Because we got the keys to the kingdom. Then that mama kicks in and she lets the baby cry or the teacher
mm.
student, however you want to say it. And there you go. And we get to help you guys move to the next level. So what is your favorite part of what you do? Because this is the key, you guys. You got to love what you do. And then that helps you to keep doing it. And when you find your like passion, purpose, desire, it's so much easier.
Amen to that. I would say today in this moment, because as I've evolved and grown and my companies have evolved and grown, that's changed. It's like
Always.
I started out and it's like, I don't fit in the corporate world. I don't want to sit in an office from 8 to 5 because they tell me to and be told what to do and then have repercussions that I'm not really responsible for. And, so that was the beginning. That was the motivation. And then now, it is literally like waking up and having the freedom to do whatever I want to do, to live wherever I want to live. Like I tried the full-time digital nomad thing for about 7 months last year. And I got to work on like the deck of a yacht in Croatia. I got to work in Amsterdam and
I'm getting chills.
California, Mexico. Yeah, like all over the place. But the weird thing is I have this I want freedom and I want to be just like totally free and do that. But I also want stability and structure. Yeah. So I've learned, but I'm here in Bend, Oregon, where it's absolutely beautiful. And I live in this resort that's amazing. And it's like, I wake up every morning and just look out at the mountains and I think, how did I, this average girl, like who came from nothing, my family was very poor growing up. We had to steal toilet paper from the library just to have toilet paper.
Yeah.
I had a single parent who did the best she could, but how did I get here? Right. And just having that freedom of knowing, yeah, like every morning, it's like I have excitement about the day. I know that, and this is something I did not know when I was drinking and using cocaine, I was always seeking my purpose, right? And I know today that somebody's life is different, that my life somebody's life will change because I am alive. And I say that not out of cockiness, but I say that out of the fact that like, that's a freaking amazing feeling to have for someone that didn't even think, I don't know if this was the abuse growing up or what it was, but I didn't think I was going to live to be like 21, much less 40, like I had no idea. And to know that, like when I wake up and I touch someone's life, I touch their business today, that there's going to be a difference made. And for me, one of my core values is that like, I want to make a difference. I'm driven by significance and I'm driven by growth. So to be able to like create significance and grow all the time and get paid amazingly, compensated well for it, just blows my mind.
Isn't it mind blowing?
It is. Sometimes again, it's like I feel like do I really, is this real? Do I really,
should I wake up?
This?
You're like, pinch me.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, and I too, like, I compromised a lot of my life in the past because I didn't know I could have my own preferences and my own standards and live my own damn life, right? Like I was living with other people's rule books. And I think what ended up happening for me was I climbed the corporate ladder and looked at the top and realized I had my ladder up against the wrong building the whole time. And then decided, you know what? Literally, I think this is going to rock your world, Trey. Like in 2018, I remember sitting in prayer and meditation, and I had this vision from God. And it was like, I saw myself on stage talking to thousands of people about my life and what he's done for me. And I remember being like, not me. Like, I'm the girl that, like, I skipped school whenever I had to do a speech in front of the class.
Yeah.
I hid in my closet so I didn't have to go to school, so I didn't have to speak in front of people. And when I had that vision, I remember just being like, first I resisted it. You guys, I'm not going to stand here and be like, oh, and then everything became, I had millions of dollars and it was great.
Okay,
like,
God, sure.
I doubted.
I know.
I doubted. I said, no, you have the wrong person.
You
not
said
me,
have all the reasons
not gonna
why
do it.
It wouldn't work, huh? We all have all the reasons why. No. Are you? No. Me?
Right.
No.
So it's like, if you guys would have told me 5 years ago, I mean, you're 5 of my business coaching business. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be here today, like, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Trust. I feel the same way. I love it. I appreciate you so much, girl. I'm so glad you decided to take the baby steps. The baby steps. I did the same thing. I started like in Toastmasters and doing all these things because I'm like, I dropped out 3 months into my ninth grade year. I
Mm,
always had that little, oh, I'm not, that lack of education kind of thing. Oh, and I don't talk like everyone else, and I don't use the words, nah, and I skip. And it's so funny because you guys, no matter how well rehearsed you are, we're just human. And I learned that on Clubhouse. We all stumble over our words sometimes. We
mhm,
all be like, or talk too fast, or get excited and forget to breathe in. Yes, but it's, you know what?
mhm.
People love that we're human. People love seeing our humanness. Don't you find that?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah, I used to be that person that I am such a perfectionist. It hinders
I
me. I
know.
stand in my own way, right?
And you're like, oh,
And so I
and trust me,
remember
that's why we're sitting here going, oh, look at my hair.
right,
Oh, I'm going,
checking the hair, checking the
I know.
nails. Like I'm like hiding my thumbnail that I broke because I don't want you guys to see it. Like, you
I
know.
know. All the things. I don't trust it. I'm sitting here going, oh, this side's uneven.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's literally like I have people, I think, so it was a couple years ago, I was doing this live training. And at the time, I was sponsored by this company, eyelash company in San Diego. And the eyelash was coming off in the middle of this training. And I was finally just like, you know what? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I ripped these eyelashes off. I put them on my Apple computer and I just keep going. And I've had people literally be like, "Oh my gosh, I remember that training you were doing with the eyelashes." And then there was another time when I had committed to, I can't remember, I think it was like 3 months of lives. And I knew I was going to be out of integrity if I didn't get on a live, but I had zero time in the day, right? Like we know how that happens. Oh, Nordine. And so we know how that happens, right? I found zero time in my day. And so I'm literally like making dinner and I'm like super rushed. I'm talking really fast and I'm cooking in my kitchen doing this live and I hold this big knife up and everyone's joking about it. They're laughing. But still to this day, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're just so real. Remember that time you're in the kitchen, you had that big knife?" And like people remember that stuff and they love it because that's why
And
I
you're
love
like, no, I'm not
things
killing my
like this.
husband.
Right. So I love things like this, like lives, Clubhouse, all these things where we cannot be scripted and you are going to get to know how people really are in real time, their real reactions. And you know, the one thing that if anyone's struggling with that, I know how hard it is to go live, right? I know. I hid out in my Facebook group for the first
Yeah.
year of my business, afraid to even talk about my business.
Trust. I came up with
And
an excuse for months why everything. Oh no, there's not sure. Oh wait, I'll do it as soon as I go get my earring. Oh, and it just never happened, girl. It never happened
right.
for a year or so.
Right. And yeah, I mean, my hair's done and everything's, you know, looking good and sharp today because I had a client meeting this morning. But
And yeah, you
I can
do look
tell you
good.
guys when we look back at my content, and it's the days when I have like my hair in a ponytail, I'm wearing my glasses and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Those are
That you
the
get the most
lives that
follows. I
I have
know.
the most views on.
Always.
People
And then
want
when I'm doing weird
real.
things like, because like I remember there's this one StreamYard, it kept saying it's waiting. And so I kept going, and I was like, what's it waiting for? And I'm going, and those are the ones that get the, and I remember one time I was like going like this, like cleaning my nose or something. And then so, and I'm like, all right. And you know, the part of me is like, delete it. Huh. You're like, just delete it. Delete it. And they're, nope, leave it. Leave it. And I had to
Leave it.
smack my hands, just leave it. And then, ooh, but it not, girl, it not at me for like a couple of days, especially the one that I think I'm going like this. I think I was cleaning my lips like I did right before we started with the lipstick. And so it's like this. And then my eyes all, yes. Oh my gosh. And oh, like, oh, it killed me. It killed me to leave it for a couple of days. And I was like, all right. But now, you know what's so the beauty, you guys, is you eventually really start to like yourself. And now it's nothing for me to pop off a minute video. I don't care. Then that's it. Sometimes my hair's in the leftover pony from last night. Sometimes my glasses are, again, no makeup, some makeup, partial makeup, because I know, no, I'm running out the door getting the kid to school because I'm raising my second set of kids, 11-year-old, and doing the things. And trust me, I look now, and so when I add the captions, I actually just giggle at myself. And do you know, it took years of healing to get to the point where it's okay that I have wrinkles. It's okay that when I'm that I that I'm not perfect, and I say crazy freaking stuff, and then and I just sit and I laugh at myself, and I want to invite you to trust and believe that you can really love yourself like that. And yes, it's took a while.
Yes.
Like you said, it doesn't just we want everything yesterday. What? You mean I started this? I went live twice and I don't have $1 million? 2 weeks I did it. What? Why is my bank
Right.
account not showing? I love it, hon. Okay, so before we hop off, I really would love to hear what amazing things do you got coming up? Are you doing events? What are you doing? Are you doing? Because I know you're so busy all the time.
Yes, I do have a free masterclass coming up, which is called Passion to Profits. So this was a very timely conversation. So I'm going to teach you the 5 musts on how to
5.
build that out, because if you are one of those people like, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. Or if you're the type of person that's like, I have a million ideas and I don't know which one to focus on that's going to move the needle forward, then this is absolutely for you. And it's going to be absolutely free. I'm doing 3 days. It'll be the 26th, 27th, and 28th. And the link to sign up
Nice.
is in my link tree.
Tree.
So would love for you guys to come join me. It's going to be so much fun. My trainings are so high vibe and high energy.
You could
You're
tell.
going to be blown away. It'll be so fun.
This is so exciting. I invite you guys to, oh, look, to get on this amazing opportunity to connect with Val. And you guys, I want you to definitely get into her link tree, get on Clubhouse and follow her. Honey, I want you to come over to Clapper too, because I'm loving it. Those radio rooms over there, because they call them radios instead of now the house, those radios, they're blowing up over there for me, and I've only been on Clapper for a couple of weeks, and so I'm really loving it. And I sat on Clubhouse, and that's just not, it doesn't have the momentum it had. And it's breathing, it's doing that plateau as it redesigns, and as you re-implement, there's a retraction to expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, while that's retracting and waiting to re-expand, I would love to have you do some radio rooms on Clapper, meet those amazing people, and they're coming in. And like you said, we got to keep growing and be ready for the next fun thing that's fun. And if it's not fun for you guys, don't do it. It's your body telling you. It is your body telling you. Be excited. See this queen? She knows all about excitement. She knows all about excitement, especially for us crazy. I love that I'm just so blown away that you helped me to really discover why I do that. And as you said that, I had that, the flip through your life, like the book of all of the things that I quit right there, right at that point. For that reason, I was like, oh no. But I totally felt that it was because of truly, it was more my discouragement, and instead of really the desire for something new, wanting that dopamine, wanting that charge, wanting that feeling of excitement. So thank you for helping it to make sense, because I love the puzzle pieces when they fit in place, and I was like, I felt it, right? It shifts your whole awareness.
Yep, that's me. I love that.
Yes. Okay. So before we get going, I want for you to make sure and tell these people, where are you at? Where are you at mostly? Because girl, I know you're all over.
All over. And that's the cool thing, is like, I've built such a brand that, it doesn't matter if Instagram's algorithm's going down or Clubhouse is going down, like whatever, it doesn't matter, because we've created our own economy in that. So you can find me pretty much anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, and all that's in my link tree as well. Yeah, it's all in that link tree, and it's all at It's Val Nichols. So it's across pretty much every platform. It's there. So you can find me, and get on my email list if you want to know what everything's going on, because there's so many fun things happening. And we now, by special request, I've finally gone into the SMS, the text messaging stuff, because I know, especially with having ADHD entrepreneurs, they're like, can you just like send me a text and tell me when it's starting? Because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen. And even
Oh
if it
my
is on the
gosh,
calendar, I might not remember. So
I'm so
yeah, I
excited.
definitely,
I love text messages. I
yes.
just
And we're
started
stepping it
using
up
them
to
too.
serve, we're stepping it up to serve. I did go through, my emotional stuff going through divorce and then trying to figure out where I was going to land again. But man, my company, my business just brings me
Girl,
so much joy and satisfaction and fulfillment that I don't even know what I would do if I wasn't doing this. And I
yeah.
feel like this is it. This is my end goal.
I'm so excited for you. I know that divorce, it
Thank
was
you.
something because, and really psychologically, I realized that the last time I dated, I was a teenager, really. And because I went from one marriage right into the next marriage, and I didn't have, I had a few months in between. And so the part of me that is a grown ass woman is like, I feel like a 15, 16-year-old girl who has no clue
Mm.
what to do. And I never dated. I went, when I was 15, I met, that was my first husband. We were together ever since then, since I was 15. So and that part of me is like, oh, and then now because my body's very different from after being paralyzed and there's still some muscles that are waiting to wake up, it makes my body look very different. And the part of me is
Mm.
like, oh yeah, who's going to be interested in a woman who walks around with a brace, who doesn't have sexy heels on, who la 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 la, right? Well, let me tell you, I have no problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Once,
someone like you, no problem,
once I
girl.
gave myself permission, because I know I also carried that vibe. And once I was like, you know what? I am hot and sexy. I know I'm flavor. I know that ain't even gonna matter if they really are into me. And then sure enough, I have been manifesting the most amazing youthful experiences. And I'm like, I love my life. Yeah, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about these things we're all worried about all up in our head, right? Oh my gosh, we're speaking of.
Mm.
I want to hear before we get off the most unique business you've helped start, because I know people don't think that things they think that's always like, oh yeah, I'm a fitness coach, oh well, I'm but people, there's unique stuff. So the craziest, uniquest thing that you've ever helped somebody start.
I would say I had a client that I met at an event in Palm Springs in 2019. And I remember she was at that place where she's like, I know I want to do this and I have all these passions and all these things. And she's just like, we're sitting at lunch and she's telling me all these different passions and ideas. She goes, but none of it makes sense, right? I'm like, yeah, it totally does make sense. What are you talking about? And I was like, you said that you love doing yoga, right? She loved doing yoga. She's lived in Palm Springs, and this was 2019, mind you. So I don't know. There was some God fortuitousness or some downloads there
Of
that
course.
came through for me. But I said she also had been an interior designer, and I was like, girlfriend, you live in Palm Springs, where
I
Palm Springs, Palm Desert, that whole area has multi-million-dollar houses.
million, I
There's a lot of
know.
celebrities and they can't go out to the yoga studio or they have their own trainers. I said, why don't we niche you down to be a um a very highly sought after interior
Interior designer.
designer for home yoga studios. She's like, there's no way, that doesn't make any sense. And I mapped it out, showed her the whole plan, and she goes, oh my gosh, this is a real thing. And not even 6 months later, everyone shut down and she got so busy because now everyone needed home yoga studios in that area because they couldn't go out because of COVID.
COVID.
And so, I mean, that was one of those that was like, literally, she doubted so much during it. She goes, this sounds like everything I want, but I'm like, I don't think there's a market for it. And then COVID
It's crazy.
happened
I
and
got
it was
the
like,
chills when you said that.
boom. And she has
Yeah.
been, I mean, I think she's been like 2 years booked out since, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. Crazy. I have a similar one. I had a client and she loved cooking, but she was like, I enjoy cooking for people, but I have the kids, blah blah blah, right? All of these that she perceived as restrictions, and this is pre-COVID too. And so I go, Han, why don't you just start, get a nice plate even from the secondhand store, and every time you make dinner or you like what you made, I go, just put it on and take a picture and just start posting it. And she started doing that. and then she started getting the yums and the likes or whatever, and then it built up. And right before COVID hit, because I had told her the same thing. I said, you could totally do in-home cooking. You could go to people's homes and you could, and after you settle your kids or whatever, I go, a lot of people, I promise you, there are people who will want to eat at 7 or who would be, whatever. Just you think of what you want to do and watch how it will come. And then, so she started, and sure enough, right before COVID, when all the restaurants shut down, she was thriving, making thousands, going to people's home with her cute little setup, and went and cooked for people because people still didn't want to cook. I love it. See those, and I think they're intuitive flashes too. That's what I call them. We get the downloads, the intuitive flashes, to help these people. So you guys, that means she's highly intuitive. She is a divine light. Okay, she practices the energy. She reads the energy, or else she wouldn't get the alignments that she does. And that's why I aligned with her. So Val, oh my gosh, I feel so honored to have you on this amazing Laugh and Learn lunch. Oh my gosh. And having gained awareness of the ADHD entrepreneur and how we work in we
Yes.
how we've always worked. I feel so, because when something hits with me, I feel like I've got a new anchor, like my foundation gets stronger. And when I learn more about myself, then next time I go, girl, I could be like, girl, don't be trying to quit. What you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Because now I know, I didn't know. But now when I get that, I'm going to be like, are you just wanting to quit because it's, you know what I mean? Because you're stagnant or whatever, because you need to learn something. That. So thank you. You guys, I want you to, I'm going to show up everything one more time. I want you to get on her link tree. You guys get in her, it's a workshop, correct? Where we get to learn
it's a 3-day master class. It's going to be so fun.
3 days. And you could tell she has an amazing nurturing teaching style, and that she's going to be able to fill into what you need, and she's going to provide you with the answers you want. So, I'm so excited, Val. I can't think you're not. I'm so excited. I'm doing my best to get that can't word out of my thing, because I can love that. You can't. And I'm excited. So I keep replacing that word until it's gone. I love that you were able to come on and share time and space with me, share this wisdom with the audience. I know they love you. We've gotten all this lovely chatter in the chat, and I appreciate all of you guys who have come on. Val, I'm so excited to continue to follow you, learn from you, grow from you. And until I can get you back on the show again in the future, I am so very grateful. Is there any closing words you want to tell this amazing audience before we hang up?
I'm available for you anytime, girl. And thank you. I knew from the very first time I heard you, I think one of our mutual friends, Dan Roth, was singing both of our praises to each other because he's so great at that. But I remember the first time I heard you, I was like, this girl, it's a vibe. There is something. Let's do this. And I knew we would mesh really well. And I'm just so blessed for everyone who's been watching this. If you're watching replay or live, or, we see you, we love you. Thank you for sourcing this, because I truly believe every conversation is whoever shows up has sourced it, and it's what we need to hear. And so I'm always blown away by the collaboration of that even if people aren't sharing in the comments, or they're not necessarily, brave enough to speak up or say hi or hit that like button, just know that you're sourcing it, and you created this conversation with us. Otherwise,
and it's going out
it wouldn't be here.
Vibrationally, it's going out because the words have been said and the energy has been said, and through this amazing electronic system, all is energy. I truly believe it. And that people, whether they see this now or read it later, they will get the exact message, the exact words that they needed to hear to align with the person who's going to get them on their track, to get them out there and where they need to be. So thank you.
Yes, girl. Yes. Until and yes.
Thank you, everyone. Just all right, I'm going to let you go. This has been Trá Urban. It is Laugh and Learn Wednesday. I will be back here next Wednesday at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, as I am, for 1 hour, highlighting these amazing, freaking powerful people who are doing the thing, getting us to the thing, and helping us heal from the thing. So blessings on your day, everyone.